Hi everyone, this week I've been driving this 2021 Toyota Sienna. This thing is all new for 2021. This is the 4th generation Sienna. The previous generation had been on sale since way back in the 2011 model year. The big news with the new Sienna is that Toyota has moved it to a hybrid only powertrain, which is something that I think Toyota should be doing with many of its vehicles. When you buy a minivan, very few people buy it for its power. So in the case of this one, it still makes enough power, but you get 36 miles per gallon combined. It's crazy. The front wheel drive Sienna is rated at 36 city, 36 highway, and 36 combined. And you can still get this thing with all-wheel drive, and even the all-wheel drive model comes in at 35 city, 36 highway, and 35 combined. So you still only lose 1 mile per gallon going to all-wheel drive. It's crazy. It's insane. It's a game changer. The minivan segment has shrunk over the years. Right now, it's really down to only 4 players. You've got the Sienna, the Honda Odyssey, which is somewhat due for a redesign, the Chrysler Pacifica, which was all new a few years ago and is pretty competitive, and then you've got the Kia Sedona. The 2021 Sedona has been on sale unchanged for a number of years now, but for 2022 there will be an all-new Sedona that looks to be pretty good. So while this segment had kind of languished over the past decade or so, it's about to heat up again. With that out of the way, let's take a closer look at the new Sienna. So styling might be maybe a little overdone for some, but I don't find it to be offensive. You can decide what you think though. Up front, this is an interesting design element. It's just like this black V-shaped piece of plastic here. It's black in there, and then it's got these chrome brushed aluminum colored brackets around it that go all the way back, and then your Toyota logo. Toyota is still obsessed with this blue outlined hybrid logo. These are 20-inch wheels that you get on the XSE trim here, and the wheels themselves are this gray color, and they kind of have a carbon fiber textured finish to them. Moving around back, not too heavy on the badging. This isn't an all-wheel drive model. If it were, it would have an additional badge, but all you get here is XSE, then the hybrid badge, and then Sienna across the back here. Power tailgate on the XSE trim. Now, a big question I always have with these new minivans is how easy is it to fold and deploy the third row seat? I practiced this for all of like 20 seconds, and I find this one to be pretty easy. So to put the seat down, you first put the headrest down, and then there's some instructions there, but you really just grab this handle, pull it back, seat bottom sits in that big compartment down there, and then I just kind of put my elbow into it, and it folds flat. To take it out, you just grab this handle, pop it up, and then pull this strap, put the headrest up, and there you go. When the third row is up, you can see you've got a massive storage area back here. So what you lose in cargo area this way, you almost gain all of it back by this big compartment down here. Other items of note in the third row include this 120 volt 3-prong AC power adapter, a USB-A and a USB-C port, little storage compartment right here, cup holders. I don't see any USB ports for this passenger over here, but you at least get 2 of them over on this side. Here's a look at the key. It's the first time I've encountered this key design from Toyota. I think it's new, but you've got unlock, lock, and then a button to open the power sliding second row doors. Close them. And then there's a button to open the power rear hatch as well. Okay, sitting down inside the cockpit of the new Sienna, and you can see it's kind of this framed driver and passenger areas here. So underneath here, massive storage compartment, which I really like to see. It's really functional, and it makes good use of this space right here. And then on top, you've got this bridge that includes your cup holders. You actually get 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. A wireless charging pad here that's optional on the XSE trim, and then a place to put another phone right here. So a lot of functionality. You still get an old school gear selector lever here, and then behind it you've got drive mode selection, a button to turn on Toyota's EV mode, which I still don't understand the purpose of this because it shuts off as soon as you go over 10 miles per hour or so. And then your electronic parking brake, and then the auto hold button. Moving back, here's your center cargo box. The lid opens just one way, and then in there, a fair amount of space in there. I can fit pretty much my whole forearm down there. On the sides of that are the armrests, and this is interesting. I've never really seen this layout on a vehicle before. On a lot of minivans, you get the armrests that fold down, that are attached to the seat. On others, you get the center cushioned area. I've never seen fixed individual armrests mounted to a center console like this. Being that this is a hybrid, not a whole lot happens when you turn it on. Gauges turn on. You can see the hybrid gauge and then a speedometer here. There's no tack. This center display screen is pretty familiar. If you've been in any modern Toyota, you'll come across this screen here. If you've been in any modern Lexus too, you'll find this screen here as well. Center infotainment screen is about as big as you could ask for. It sits above the dashboard a little bit, but it doesn't really eat into your field of vision that much. Beneath that are some HVAC buttons. Heated seats in the XSE. It does not have ventilated seats. Steering wheel feels pretty nice. Soft, leather wrapped. XSE has red stitching. Toyota switchgear, super high quality as usual. Door panel, kind of hard to the touch, honestly. This isn't hard plastic, but it's like a vinyl wrapped around hard plastic. Same materials right here. Armrest is pretty hard as well. I'm kind of surprised. Nice design on this trim piece here. It's actually embossed. It's a good texture there. And then some buttons over here. Stability control, automatic high beams. This is a button to turn on that inverter in the rear. Here's a button for adjusting the brightness of the gauge cluster, and then your fuel door, and a button to turn off the power sliding second row doors. My favorite design element of this interior though is the shelf right here. You'll find this in the new RAV4, you'll find it in the new Highlander, and now it's made its way into the new Sienna. It's just functional and practical. You can obviously put your phone here and keep it charging while you drive. There's a USB port. Kind of odd to have a USB port and a USB-A port at that, just stuck right there. But still you can find a use for it, and then you can just stick other things along here. Sunglasses, wallet, keys, whatever. Another nice thing, move around to the second row and you've got USB-A and a USB-C port. I'm pretty sure this is the first Toyota to use USB-C. Up top, this one has just a normal sunroof. No more sunroofs in the back, just this one. And your buttons up here, Toyota SOS button. They've gotten rid of the little cover that folds down, but that's okay. And then this button opens the rear hatch. This button opens the door behind me. This button opens the passenger side sliding door. And then these buttons control the sunroof. Let's check this real quick. Oh yeah, so it slides on its pivot point as it should. Good coverage from the sun visor. Yeah. Okay. That about covers the front seats here. Let's check out the back. You just push the button there and they open. Okay, so one of this vehicle's claims to fame is that these second row captain's chairs slide really far forward and really far back. I can figure out how to do that. There you go. So there's a little lever right here. And yeah, so that is limousine level legroom right there. And then if you had to fit really large items in the back, you know, if someone wasn't sitting here, you could slide this all the way into the passenger seat back. And then skis, snowboards, whatever. So if you were taking this thing skiing, you could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people and all their skis and snowboards right there. Very convenient. And it's available with all-wheel drive, so you won't get stuck in the parking lot at the ski resort. Let's check out the third row. These are generally for kids, but oh, God, ow. And yeah, there's enough legroom back here that I could ride pretty comfortably. It really would not bother me going a long distance in the third row of this vehicle. There's another look. I know it's a little bit dark, but there's your USB ports. None over on this side. I'm a little surprised by that. Small windows in the rear here, very small windows. Seatbelt for the third row, middle seat is up in the ceiling there. Other items of note, there's another 120 volt power inverter there. Cup holders, I don't know what this is for. Maybe you plug your cable in and then slip it around this thing and it keeps it from putting tension on the cable, but it says Sienna right there. Not sure. If you know what that is, let me know. It doesn't do anything. It's just a fixed piece of plastic. Little water bottle holders on the sides of the seats here. We'll go ahead and move this seat back to a more normal position. They slide really nicely. One knock on the new Sienna though is that in the old one, you could remove this second row. And when you had the second row removed and the third row folded flat, you had an insane amount of cargo space. But with this one, second row seats, for the most part, they're gonna stay fixed in place there. So to put 36 miles per gallon into perspective, this vehicle has an 18-gallon fuel tank, and at 36 miles per gallon, you can get up to about 650 miles between fill-ups in this vehicle. The Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid was previously the most fuel-efficient minivan you could get, and that thing could only go up to 510 miles between fill-ups. So this is an insane amount of range out of this Sienna hybrid. There's 50, so it's not fast. 0 to 60 on this 2021 is about 8 seconds. On the previous Sienna, which came with a V6, 0 to 60 was about 7 seconds. This vehicle makes 245 combined horsepower, uses a CVT, so the powertrain is nothing crazy from a performance standpoint, obviously not. But 36 miles per gallon is nuts. I mean, the old one, yeah, it was a little faster, a little more powerful, but the old Sienna got 21 mpg combined. So this thing has a 15 mile per gallon advantage on the old one, which is remarkable. Beyond that, you know, comfortable enough to drive. This armrest is pretty comfy right here. You can't move it, which might bother some, but it doesn't really bother me. This dashboard layout, functional, as is on most modern Toyotas. This framed off area here was a little bit weird to me at first, but it's never bothered me. I think the saving grace is the fact that it's entirely hollow underneath, so someone like me with long legs, you might feel a little bit claustrophobic here at first glance, but you can always stretch your legs out into this big open area down here, so it really doesn't get in the way at all. Other than that, this thing checks the boxes. It has a third row seat that's easy to fold flat. It has a second row that unfortunately no longer comes out completely, but it's still really configurable. The seats go really far forward and really far back, so if you just have 2 kids that you're hauling around, it's easy enough to put those seats all the way back and give them tons of legroom. This one isn't fully loaded. There's the limited and the platinum trim above this one, and it'll top out at over $50,000. This is actually a pre-production model, meaning that it doesn't come with a window sticker, but I can say that this one's pretty much middle of the pack, so I'm gonna ballpark it at, you know, maybe 42,000, which is a pretty reasonable price to pay for a minivan that's modern, extremely fuel efficient, family friendly, safe, good infotainment setup, good connectivity. It's got enough ports in it, and beyond that, just really easy and comfortable to drive. Whoa, oh, that's a cool G-Wagon. You can see it. Probably not. Can you see it? No, it's behind us now. Looks like a Europa G. Backup camera is still Toyota's crappy old backup camera that they've been using for the past, I don't know, 10 years. It's completely silent right now. Okay, so wrapping up the Sienna. As I mentioned, the minivan market has shrunk. The 3-row SUV phenomenon has taken a lot of market share from the minivans over the years, and now automakers seem to be prioritizing 3-row family SUVs above minivans because people want that SUV aesthetic. I don't get it, but that leaves the minivan market to 4 automakers. You've got the Sienna, Honda Odyssey, Chrysler Pacifica, and Kia Sedona. As far as these vehicles go, the Sienna is, as of right now, the most modern. It's by far the most fuel efficient, and it checks enough of the other boxes that I think this thing's probably going to enjoy a lot of success over the next year as far as market share goes. The Kia Sedona is coming for 2022. It'll be all new, and Hyundai and Kia, tend to offer a lot of value, a lot of smart features, premium features, good design. So when that vehicle goes on sale, I think it will form a pretty good competitor to the Sienna. But that said, Toyota enjoys so much brand loyalty. They're known for reliability. Their hybrid systems are proven. They come standard with a lot of active safety features that are also proven. So altogether, I think this new 2021 Sienna is going to enjoy a lot of success in the minivan scene for years to come. And since I know I didn't give the price for this thing in the video, I just went onto Toyota's online configurator and built one of these exactly as this one is equipped. So this is a 2021 Sienna XSE. It does not have all-wheel drive, but you can get it with all-wheel drive. The loan package that it has, I believe, is the XSE Plus package, which comes in at about $1,300. There's a couple different versions of that. I think this is a pretty basic one, so we're going to call that $1,375 is what I selected here. And then factoring in a $1,175 destination fee, as equipped, as I think it's equipped, this one totals at $44,550. So there you go. Thanks for watching.